Welcome back to the Cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is still perfectly playing out the bullish divergence in the immediate short term, as this liquidity is still drawing the price of Bitcoin towards the upside right now, while Ethereum is still remaining within this sideways price range between crucial support and resistance, while the price of Solana is continuing to bounce after retesting this crucial area on the price chart. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. But of course, on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we still have that major bearish divergence, which has already been playing out over the last 1 month or so, causing a lot of weakness and a lack in bullish momentum for the price of Bitcoin. So obviously, this is still perfectly playing out, as I've been saying, over the last 1 month. And on this 3-day Bitcoin price chart, we're still lacking significant bullish momentum in the 3-day Bitcoin MACD. And so once again, as I've said time and time again here on the channel, yes, we can see short-term bullish moves on slightly smaller time frames, but overall, looking at the bigger picture here for the next few weeks or possibly months, it's unlikely we'll see significant bullish momentum on the much larger time frames here, at least not right now. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, currently the price is perfectly bouncing from this Fibonacci level, sitting at around 108.9k approximately, so roughly 109,000, acting as support, and we are now reclaiming 112,000, which previously has been a very significant level on the price chart, 112,000. So obviously, now that the price of Bitcoin is starting to break back above 112,000, this is a big deal, at least in the short term. And as I mentioned recently here on the channel, if we confirm that breakout back above 112,000, that will significantly increase the probability of a continued bullish relief up towards a very significant level of resistance here, sitting at around 117,000. So ideally, we now need to see that daily candle close confirm back above 112,000 and actually hold above that level in order to start flipping a little bit more bullish again, at least in the shorter term for the following days or maybe for around a week, give or take. And if we're taking a look at this 4-hour Bitcoin price chart, just looking at the immediate short term, obviously this bullish divergence I talked about in my last video just yesterday is continuing to perfectly play out as predicted. Because obviously when I recorded my last video roughly around here in the price of Bitcoin, I said it's extremely likely now that over the next few days, just in the short term, expect a short-term bullish relief like this. And obviously, once again, it's already perfectly playing out as I talked about in my last video. And I do expect this to continue to play out at least for another 1 or 2 days, maybe longer, maybe even up to a week. But once again, just the next few days is a very likely scenario. The shorter term here, we're likely going to see a little bit more of a slight bullish relief. Once again, on the larger time frames, when we're looking at the much larger, longer term moves, at least for now, for the next multiple weeks or the next 1 month or so, still lacking bullish momentum. So maybe we see a slight bullish relief, but not necessarily high momentum towards the upside, seeing a significant move towards the upside. That would be unlikely. But once again, just in the immediate short term, expect just a slight bullish move is what I said in my last video. And once again, already playing out as predicted. And as for price targets to watch out for, now that we're breaking out back above 112,000, which was a key level on the price chart right here, in that situation, of course, we have the next point of resistance to watch out for based on previous support and previous resistance in the price, sitting at around 114.7k to almost 115,000. So just under 115,000 will likely act as some short-term resistance. And then above that, we have a very significant level to watch out for at around 117,000, which previously has acted as strong resistance for the price of Bitcoin, at least in the short term. And so, like I said earlier, for as long as we're holding above 112,000 now, ideally using that as new support, in that situation, it is quite likely that in the coming days, we'll see a continued relief towards around 117,000, especially as we have this liquidity that is drawing the price of Bitcoin towards this liquidity. Usually, Bitcoin moves towards where we have a lot of liquidity, especially if it's relatively close to the price of Bitcoin. But as always, keep in mind, we have points of resistance along the way where the price could struggle at or possibly reject from. So, of course, we have this liquidity at around 119,500, just under 120,000. But as the price of Bitcoin moves towards that area, plays out this short-term bullish divergence, once again, watch out for those points of resistance where the price could possibly reject from. And so those are my expectations in the shorter term, just a continued bullish relief, watching out for these points of resistance. It's a very likely scenario. And once again, I said that in my last video just yesterday, already playing out as predicted. But of course, on the larger time frames, already for the last 1 month and most likely over the next multiple weeks, still showing a lot of weakness on the larger time frames, basically stalling in the bull market, so to say. So basically, once again, lacking bullish momentum is what I've already been saying over the last 1 month, already playing out as predicted over the last 1 month. But obviously, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange. And personally, I'm taking a lot of my trades over on BTNX, so I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim some major bonuses and enter into a 25,000 USD prize pool, where just by trading crypto and basically hitting these sort of milestones here, you get up to 25,000 US dollars in trading bonuses here just by trading crypto using that link. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. It's basically a bunch of free money from the exchange just by trading crypto. Once again, first link below this video, and only those of you that are using that link below this video can actually gain access to these huge prize pools here. And in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX as an exchange, there's also Pinex as another exchange out there that I also trade on. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to Pinex below this video. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page where you can also claim some major bonuses. For example, if you simply just make an account, it takes about 60 seconds to do this. Make an account, complete KYC, you get a free $50 bonus from the exchange onto your Pinex account, but only if you're using that link. And on top of that major sign up bonus here, you can also get huge deposit bonuses. For example, if you deposit just $100, you get a $100 bonus, free money from the exchange onto your Pinex account. Or if you deposit up to $10,000, you get a $1,000 bonus onto your Pinex account, which you can use to trade over on Pinex. So once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out, that second link below this video. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can access Pinex without KYC as well. But with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance, and right now in the immediate short term, the Bitcoin dominance is currently slowing the pullback a little bit, but overall, we're still within the larger pullback. We're still obviously looking bearish in terms of the momentum or the price structure or the trend. And so as I've said many times here on the channel, of course, if we see a little short-term bounce, that's bad news for altcoins. But while we're still in the larger pullback, that's actually very good news for altcoins. It means a lot of the major altcoins, especially Ethereum over the last few weeks, is really going to be outperforming Bitcoin if the Bitcoin dominance remains in this pullback, which so far over the last few weeks, for over a month now, has been the case. But there's not much else to add here on the Bitcoin dominance chart over the last 1 day. Not a lot has changed. So taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, and right now Ethereum is still trading in between this major area of support and this significant area of resistance. First of all, this area of support is still sitting in between around 3.9k to 4.1k, and this area of resistance is still sitting in between around 4.8k to 4.9k. And obviously around half a week ago, close to 3 days ago, give or take, I've been saying here on the channel since then, it's extremely likely the price is just going to remain in this sideways price range for at least a little while, maybe a few days, maybe a week. So just in the shorter term, honestly, don't be surprised if the price just bounces around a little bit in this sideways price range, considering the significance of both this support and this resistance. And so obviously over the last few days, that's already playing out as expected, and I continue to expect the price to remain range bound, at least for the shorter term. So at least for the next few days moving forward is a very likely scenario here. And if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum price chart, technically speaking, this bearish divergence is still active on the price of Ethereum, because right now we still have those high highs confirmed in the price and the lower highs confirmed in the daily Ethereum RSI. But with that being said, it's unlikely we'll see a significant pullback based on this alone, considering first of all, the size of this bearish divergence is much smaller than some of these previous bearish divergences we've seen confirm and play out in the price of Ethereum. And so what is a much more likely scenario, which is already one of the most likely outcomes from a bearish divergence anyway, is most likely just some choppy sideways price action. Usually from a bearish divergence, we see either just a sideways consolidation like this, or maybe a little bit more of a pullback. But in this case, it is quite likely we're just going to continue chopping around sideways, relatively sideways here within this sideways price range, at least for the next few days, as a very likely outcome. And as I've said many times times recently here on the channel. Of course, if Bitcoin plays out this short-term bullish relief, which is already starting to do exactly as predicted, and if the Bitcoin dominance remains in this pullback, that is great news for the altcoin market. That is going to mean a lot of these major altcoins are also going to play out some short-term bullish relief. So keep that in mind. That's a very likely scenario, especially if Bitcoin continues this bullish relief. That will likely flow over to the altcoin market. And if we're taking a look at this 2-day Solana price chart, right now Solana is continuing the bounce from this exact area on the price chart, sitting in between around 190 to 200. So obviously, based on these candle closes right here on the 2-day time frame, we perfectly bounced from this area of support, just like how perfectly we've seen multiple rejections from this area previously. And so obviously, now that we've first of all already confirmed the breakout above a major area of resistance, but not only confirmed the breakout, we've actually retested that area, confirmed it as new support, flipping previous resistance into new support, and now currently bouncing from that area. All of this is bullish price structure. Of course, this is price structure heading in the bullish direction, which is ultimately going to continue the bullish trend. We're still within a larger bullish trend here on the 2-day Solana price chart, forming higher lows and higher highs. So ultimately, this is just the continuation of that trend now that we're further confirming the breakout here, with the next major price target and point of resistance to watch out for based on this Fibonacci level sitting at around $230. And obviously, as for support, continue to expect a lot of support in between around 190 to 200. And now, technically speaking, we still have that possible rising wedge forming. But with that being said, it's looking likely that we're getting obviously much closer to confirming a breakout here. Now, ideally, we need to see a candle close to actually confirm a breakout or a break to the downside. But either way, of course, this is still something to watch out for in case we were to see some sort of a rejection here. But overall, because this is not confirmed, I've been very clear with that over the last few days. It's just possibly forming not confirmed. Considering what is confirmed, which is this new bullish price structure, the breakout above this resistance, considering what is confirmed and what is actually playing out for the price, we are currently overall more bullish than we are bearish. Once again, especially if Bitcoin plays out this short-term bullish relief, that will help a lot of altcoins like Solana as well. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, technically speaking, on this much larger time frame, we still have a significant bearish divergence already confirmed, not yet invalidated, which means it's still active, it's still playing out for the price. And obviously, I've been warning about this since almost all-time highs around $3.40 onwards, and since about $3.40, obviously this has been perfectly playing out for roughly a month now, which is what I warned about a month ago. But obviously, as I've also been saying pretty much every day since then over the last 1 month, while this larger bearish divergence is playing out a larger cool off or potentially a larger pullback over weeks, if not months, of course, we can see shorter term bullish moves. If we're zooming into smaller time frames, we can indeed play out short-term bullish moves during potentially a larger cool off of some sort. So obviously, this is all playing out as I've been saying, and right now we are continuing just a short-term bullish relief, a bit of a break from all of the bearish price action here, thanks to, of course, the Bitcoin bullish divergence and this short-term bullish relief playing out. And of course, if this is playing out in Bitcoin while the Bitcoin dominance is still in this pullback, like I've been saying many times here on the channel, this is going to mean we're going to see finally a bit of a relief for the altcoin market, at least just in the short term. And so all of this is still playing out. And of course, if we're taking a look at support and resistance to watch out for, first of all, we have a lot of support in between around 285 to 290. Below that, more support at 275, and a significant area in between around 255 to 262. And as for resistance, we have a lot of resistance at roughly $3.10 and significant resistance in between around $3.34 to $3.40. But honestly, not much else has changed for XRP over the last 1 day. So without wasting your time, getting straight into the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame. And right now, as of recording this video, Chainlink is currently testing this Fibonacci level again, which is currently acting as a bit of short-term resistance and previously has been acting as resistance for the price as well previously. And that is sitting at around $24.30, it's $24.40. So basically in between around $24 to $25 currently as an area of resistance to watch out for, at least in the short term. And if we actually break out back above ideally $25 and then hold above that area, in that situation, the next major target is basically these highs right here at close to $27. And obviously at around $27 and just under $27, we have a lot of resistance right there, as I've warned about many times since before before we saw multiple perfect rejections from that exact level. And only if we were to confirm a breakout, ideally above $27 and actually hold above that level, in that situation, the next major target would be at close to $30, around $29.50 to $30. But obviously for now, we still have $27 we first need to break out above. But then even before that, the immediate area is in between $24 to $25, currently acting as a bit of short-term resistance. And as for support, we technically have just found support at just above $23, around $23.30 give or take. But really the next significant support is sitting at just above $21, so around $21.40 based on this low right here. But really we have that golden pocket as well, sitting in between around $20 to $21, acting as significant support for the price of Chainlink. And technically speaking, on this daily Chainlink price chart, we still have an active bearish divergence, which is already confirmed, already playing out for the price of Chainlink. And obviously over the last half a week or so, it's been perfectly playing out in the form of just a short-term pullback and now a bit of choppy sideways price action over the last couple of days here in the shorter term. And so obviously those are the most common outcomes, just either short-term pullback or some choppy sideways price action, lacking bullish momentum, showing a bit of weakness. So of course this is still playing out as expected, but like I've been saying many times recently here on the channel, in my last video and in this video, of course, if Bitcoin is playing out this short-term bullish relief, which is already doing as predicted, and especially if the Bitcoin dominance remains bearish, that will really help a lot of the altcoin market. Not necessarily every single altcoin in the market, but a lot of the altcoins will likely play out a short-term bullish relief if Bitcoin is doing the same, and especially if the Bitcoin dominance is bearish. Once again, that's good news just in the immediate short term, maybe for the next few days for a lot of the altcoin market. And so those are my exact expectations moving forward in the shorter term and going into the mid to longer term for a lot of the crypto market here. And of course, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that are only available using those links to those exchanges. And if you want to actually know how you can trade crypto no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.